We're live. Thanks everyone who's already tuning in. Really appreciate that. So yeah, as usual, we're taking calls. If anyone thinks that they can name the trait that is a trait or set of traits that you think are true of an animal, which if true of a human would cause you to kill and eat them, as you do the animal. But anyways, in the meantime, while we wait for any and everybody who might come in, just going to be reacting to some content I had sent to me a little earlier. I've never heard of this Catherine Klein person before. But wow, holy shit, she put like an hour into this. Oh, I feel like there's gonna be a lot in this. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. Why does she say peace loving? Why does she say peace loving vegan or deranged Zionist? First of all, why is she censoring the word Zionist? Is it a fucking curse word now? I don't understand. Is she trying to avoid people that would look up the word Zionist? Someone's gonna need to fill me in on what the hell the purpose of that's for. But secondly, I'm just really curious why she is saying why she's contrasting being a peace-loving vegan or a deranged Zionist. Like, why the fuck couldn't you be both? Like, or the opposite of one and also the other? I have no clue what she's attempting to get at there, but obviously any possible combination, or any combination is possible there. You could be a peace-loving vegan and a deranged Zionist. You could be, or quote unquote, right, from someone's perspective. You could be a non-peace-loving vegan and a non-deranged Zionist. You could be a non-peace-loving vegan and a deranged Zionist. You could be, I forgot if I said all four combinations, but you get the idea. Like, all four combinations are possible there. So I have no fucking clue why she's trying to contrast those two concepts together. It's very curious. Yeah, well, I already feel like I'm gonna regret this. Oh shit.
Hi everyone. I know I'm like a month late here, but the legendary or infamous, depending on who you ask, Gary Groff.
Why does she have to start off like a fucking script? Like, the legendary or infamous, depending on who you ask. God, she's like a rejected theater kid.
Is back in action after an 8-year hiatus from animal rights activism. I didn't think I'd make a video about this, as Natalie Fulton covered the controversy of his return so well on her.
Oh God, you know, I've heard about Natalie Fulton before. Oh God, I really don't know if I should actually delve into Natalie Fulton before I go into this video, because I actually have not yet seen. Yeah, I feel like I'm skipping addition and jumping into algebra. Not really, but like in terms of like storyline, I feel like I'm skipping like the third season of something and I have no exposition on like the first and second. So as tempting as this is, guys, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to figure out I think I'm gonna have to figure out where the hell this all comes from in the first place. Natalie, because I keep seeing it on the side and I'm just so fucking sick of it. It's the Name the Trait, Why I Hate Name the Trait by Natalie Fulton. It's now 2 years old. But it it really is it has like less than 7,000 views. I see it all the fucking time in my feed and I just have not clicked on it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, all right.
Name the Trait is widely considered.
Here we go.
Name the Trait is widely considered to be the gold standard of vegan argumentation.
Gold standard. Okay, there's already a couple problems here. Like, if she means within the debate community of online vegan of like on vegans online, like the online vegan sphere. Um, I'm not even sure that's true. Like, I think there are what's the criteria there? There are people that highly regard name the trait that are popular. Oh, hey, I just opened up the other chat. What's up, Giannis? Yeah, Natalie Fulton's bad. Oh, okay, well, you know more than I do on this, so I'm gonna learn, and you're gonna watch me become a non-virgin on the sophistry. So, but anyways, no, so like, I'm just wondering what the criteria is of the gold standard, because that seems really misleading automatically. Like, there are a few people online who are popular vegans who use name the trait. Like, clearly she's showing Vegan Gains. That's a good example. Isaac is not a large YouTuber, but he has talked to a number of high public figures before. And then there's Avi, who's like less well known than even Isaac, but obviously decently known within the debate sphere. But across like veganism as a whole, it's actually crazy how I would say unpopular, either in terms of being known, but most importantly being used. So when she says gold standard, I don't see popularity quantitatively. I actually seldom see people deploy name the trait, unfortunately. So like literally aside from Vegan Gains, I don't really see anybody modern day deploying it. And even he doesn't really do it too often. Maybe he does more on his live streams. I don't tune in like enough for those. But yeah, quantitatively that seems like an overstatement. Qualitatively, I don't think a lot of people respect it. So I don't unfortunate, and that's unfortunate as well. You know what's really funny with that framing, saying like it's looked at as the gold standard? I take that to be some kind of like, why? I know, right, Nelly? I kind of take that to be an admission of perhaps people scared to sound smart. I take that to be an admission of people's inability to, or sorry, Natalie is aware of other people's inability to name the trait and see how they get stumped. That's probably the most sensible interpretation, is that even though it connotates that it refers to either most likely a quantitative approach to how many people deploy name the trait, or a qualitative approach to how many people, even if it's few, just like really, really look up to it. Which, I mean, yeah, it's... I still think it's probably going to reduce down to some quantitative approach. But regardless, the point is just to say, even though that's connotated, I feel like a less popular connotation is probably more likely here, where it's meant to refer to the idea that nobody has a high quality answer with regards to name the trait when they do get stumped. No matter who is asked, that's a high public figure, which Isaac, ask yourself, is the number one person to thank for, I would say, obviously platforming name the trait, and specifically to high profile figures. Stefan Molyneux, obviously, Cosmic Skeptic. He's talked to Hassan Piker, Sam Cedar, didn't he even ask Sam Harris? This motherfucker has asked people, is the point. And so it's a lot more correct, it seems, to say something like, a lot of people fear name the trait or don't seem to have a good answer. But so far, saying the gold standard is, although personally agreeable, I would say, even that's an understatement. It's the indestructible standard. Like, even gold has limitations. But I understand what you might mean. But anyways, to say the gold standard is very misleading socially, and so I think that's very bad.
Name the trait is widely considered to be the gold standard of vegan argumentation.
Oh, that's what it was. The other part, vegan argumentation. So, in the layman sense, calling it argumentation is okay. I have a lot of qualms with calling it argumentation instead of calling it a consistency test. Because I really do think that it causes people to focus too much on the debate bro aspect, which I have a strong feeling she's going to get into exactly that bullshit in a moment here. Oh, is the horizontal... Oh, okay, it looks like we're catching up on there. Just pay attention to that one. But anyways, yeah, I have a strong feeling she's going to try to get into some debate bro culture, some dog shit points there. But actually framing it as a consistency test, which is truly what people who deploy name the trait, like the few that she's referring to, she's literally showing Vegan Gains who deploys it as a consistency test. Not some sort of, high stakes, feel good attempt at just attempting, getting off egotistically or something like that. Vigilante vegan argument. Yeah, I know, right? It's again, laymen can understand it as an argument very loosely. One qualm I have is the concept of people focusing on the debate bro component of it. Another problem I have is knowing when and how to use name the trait. Because if you frame it as a consistency test, which is accurately what it is, and you have people engage with it, right? You realize that quickly that it's the opposing party, right? It's the Carnist who is in the hot seat. But when you frame it as an argument, and you either have somebody come up to you that's minorly philosophically literate, they're going to say either one, what's the argument, and they're going to expect some kind of form to it or something like that. Or even if they accept natural language, they'll be confused and think what's the concept behind this? How does A follow with B? And then you have to set it up as an argument. Whereas if you leave it as you don't have to, but when you say argument, there's a higher standard that's expected with how to set it up in a certain regard, that it seems like you can save yourself a world of trouble with regards to, confusing yourself on premises and people accepting X, Y, and Z. I do think it's rare, but I do see the value in just, sometimes I do have particularists and whatnot, come up, and even in my live stream, there was one a few live streams ago that was talking about thinking that it was incompatible to them. They didn't realize that they could, that it was compatible with them because I think they thought that it assumed some sort of concept of principalism. And so... you'd be fine if you set it up in a correct format. I guess unless you're very philosophically literate, I wouldn't do that. And I think it just adds more distraction or work or nuance to the equation. So I don't really see the value in doing that. Well, it looks like we got somebody who just joined the Discord. So hopefully we'll be getting a chat in a moment here. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I do have... I do have personal qualms with that, but the biggest one being that I think we should avoid the debate bro culture sort of invitations, like bait that people are trying to set us up on. So, yeah.
I haven't seen an argument demonstrating that there's a morally substantive difference between a human and an animal that would justify...
Yeah, even that is Happy Gilmore. Your bad faith made me feel bad for attempting to debate my first ever debate. I hope you never grow your audience, but I hope you grow your faith. Happy Gilmore, honestly, dude, I don't even remember you. I don't remember if you're the dude that justified taking advantage of physically handicapped people, or were you the guy that was... Oh, we got someone in the waiting room. Okay, well, you've officially become irrelevant in like 2 seconds, whoever the fuck you were. So, you're... Oh, he just left. Join back, whoever was in the waiting... Or, what's his name? Let's check it out. It said Zone Chaos on the phone. I'm not sure why it's not showing up on PC. I guess it's like streamer mode or something. Whatchamacallit? But I will say, Happy Gilmore, I do have... I have grown faith in... I have grown faith in general. I had an amazing fucking vegan meal the other day, and it made me find... If it wasn't Jesus, it was a really good trip because it was just such good food. So I'm not sure if I found what's technically faith or just, you know, really, really high set of positive brain chemicals. But yeah, I felt like I found Jesus. Genesis chapter 9, all the justification a person needs. So Robert, I see that you joined the waiting room, but then you left. So do you want to actually like defend your position via voice, or do you want to just cuck in the chat? Because like that's not very interesting to just, you know, throw some words at people and then run away. If you're actually confident in your position, right, you should be able to defend it over voice. So yeah, why do you follow up after you moved on? Thought I was irrelevant. I mean, I was finishing responding to you. It's called a joke. I don't know why you're so serious and you've got to stick up your ass, Happy Gilmore. You know, it's funny your name is actually Happy Gilmore, because isn't that supposed to be a comedy movie, but you don't know how to take a joke? That was okay. But yeah, Robert, please do join the Discord, man. We're happy to see you actually not just throw words onto a screen that don't really do much to offer any sort of valuable insight into the specifics of what you think or how you think you can justify killing and eating animals for food. So
by taking away
that's what we were talking
substantive
about,
difference between a human and an animal that would just demonstrating that there's a morally
standard of vegan argumentation.
I haven't seen an argument demonstrating that there's a morally substantive difference between a human and an animal.
Okay, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go off on a limb here and say that Vegan Gains was asked by the person that he was debating here, what's your argument for veganism or something like that, and he gave this answer. That's not a very good debate proposition, Richard. Here's why. So number one, it focuses too much on your preferences when you say you haven't seen a good argument for why X versus Y. And although you can wrap it around to his view, I think especially to laymen, it's going to be very, very, very confusing for the sort of wording that you're offering, because it does connote that you know, it's about your interpretation of the two of the view in question, rather than just being straightforwardly if somebody can ask themselves. And then a debate proposition that I would plug into is something that would be universally applied from anyone's perspective. So my suggestion to follow up for anyone watching or for Richard would be there is no trait that is true of an animal, which if true of a human, would make the trait equalized being lose moral value, such that you'd find it okay to kill and eat them, or violate their rights, however you want to say it, as you would the animal. Because then when you say it that way, the person is going to not only feel more compelled to respond, but also give you less attacks, such as, that's your view, those are your thoughts, it's subjective, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So, yeah, just some advice. You can get away with this. It's just, I see far too many vulnerabilities with this. Even someone like myself who's very careful when I deploy name the trait, I still get people who attempt to force that down my throat of like, that's your view, trying to make it about my position rather than it being a matter of them asking themselves. So, generally speaking, we should be putting the animal murderers themselves in the hot seat, right? We shouldn't be attempting to put, ourselves in the hot seat and then, like, we lose a lot of power there. It's not the strongest way we can go about it. PSA, if anyone here plans to debate this guy, be aware. Expect to be cut off. Have assumptions made about you. Jokes thrown your way at your expense for his audience. Expect to be hung up on abruptly. He's having a trauma fit, everybody. Yeah, this is great. Dude, I don't know why you came onto here unless you're that fucking invested. Like, I don't even know how you got notified again. Like, are you subscribed? Like, thank you. I recommend debating some other creators who may be better faith. Yeah, just randomly asserting that somebody is better faith versus not better faith because of your anecdote is not convincing. You should offer reasoning for that, but it's not surprising that you don't offer reasoning because of our first interaction, which I don't remember again which one you were. Were you the guy with the accent that was talking about the approach that you hope that I debate people by means of focusing on the outcome, or were you the guy? I feel like maybe you were that guy, or I don't remember. Seriously, you're going to have to remind me. I seriously don't remember. They were like, I remember your username, but I don't recall which one you were. So which which one were you? Let's put it that way. It's not worth the effort.
The horizontal camera keeps lagging.
What do you mean it keeps lagging?
Like, sometimes you come back. You're like frozen, I should say.
Okay.
But I can hear you.
I'll try to resend it. Okay, so Happy Gilmore, you've just... I don't know. Kevin, name the trait as a stupid argument. It's a consistency test, not necessarily an argument. You could turn it into an argument. The trait is obvious. The trait? Well, first of all, the trait or set of traits are contextually dependent on the agent in question, Kevin. So it's incorrect framing to say the trait because you're literally unable to speak on behalf of all other agents. Like if you have, let's say, 1 million people and you ask them to name the trait or set of traits, it's not necessarily going to be the same trait across all the different people, is it? The trait is being human. That's circular reasoning. If I say what trait is true of an animal, which if true of a human would cause you to say that it's okay to kill and eat the animal, or sorry, the trait equalized human as you would the animal, and you say the trait is being human, right? That's circular. We're wondering what about the human would have to be lost in terms of its trait or set of traits that are currently true of them in order for them to lose moral value. Oh, Dandelion Gum, what's up? It's good to see you. Thanks for coming through. That's it. Now, if you mean to say human DNA, we can run that trait through. So, Kevin Messiah, do you mean to say the trait is human DNA? If it's not human, it's food. Got it. So, someone who has a single human DNA, someone who has their human DNA altered such that it's technically not human DNA anymore, but they're subjectively identical in all aspects, including their consciousness, to a human being, would be okay to kill and eat for food. If it is human, it's generally not food. Pretty simple, really. So what we're never interested in, Kevin, is a situation where descriptively people behave in such a way where they know what they currently do in order to categorize one set of beings as food versus not. What we're wondering is a prescription. That is to say, what ought be or ought not be the case. When you say something like, if it is human, it's generally not food, then it begs the question, right? We're still wondering, it's a category. We're still wondering what should or should not make an animal, what should not make an animal food, what should not make a human food. And if the answer is that you should not make a human into food, we're going to be wondering what trait or set of traits would make you say that we should not make an animal, or we should not make a, or we should make a human into food if the trait that's true of an animal were also true of the human. My man, start the video knowing you don't have the correct position in every sense. I don't mind, though. It's a good thing. Wait, what? You started that video knowing you have the correct position. What video? Tita, I don't know. If you're talking about the why I hate name the trait, and you say you start the video knowing you have the correct position in every sense, I don't know what you mean by the correct position. If you mean to say I have years of experience dealing with name the trait, yes, I do. Oh, hey, what's up, Lavender? And Twitch. If you're saying I have years of experience with regards to name the trait, and I am aware of the sophistry that somebody might deploy with regards to name the trait, congratulations. Yes, I don't deny that. That was not a fucking secret. I was not hiding that. I don't know what the heck you mean. If you're trying to say something like I've seen the video for, I have not. I truly have not. I have not had the time. This is the first time I see the value in doing it because I'm reacting live to it. I don't mind, though. It's a good thing. Yeah, I don't know what you don't mind. I imagine I'm banned now. I don't know, banned from what, Happy Gilmore? All my points in my PSA are excellent points for why you're bad faith. Well, you just gave your anecdote of your experience of what you think happened from your interpretation. You didn't actually offer any reasoning, Happy Gilmore. I would rather not remind you, as I'm more sure it will result in some form of making fun of me or shunning me. You must have subscribed to me in order to see that I went live this soon. I'm just amazed that you would be that committed and sit here and bitch on my live stream instead of actually bother to remind me either of who you are or just attempt to try to throttle the live stream. I think you're only going to make people more curious to debate me, but I'm free to get. I'm happy to give it a little bit more patience for maybe a few more minutes here just to entertain it. It might be fun. Eating humans as humans leads to prion diseases. I guess it's a disease you would get from eating humans. Eating other animals not necessarily so. No. Wait, what? I'm not asking it. Wait. Phobic. I'm not asking if you would get a disease from eating humans. If the trait, unless that's the trait you're deploying, is that there's only some kind of circumstantial reason that would prevent you from eating humans. Are you trying to say that if there wasn't a disease you would get from eating humans, you would find it morally acceptable to eat humans? Because that's gonna be a fucking crazy position. Tita, the live, my bad. Eating dead animals is indefensible if you think about it. Right, yeah, if you engage honestly, and especially with the strongest reasoning that there is to not kill animals for food, which is that you wouldn't kill a trait equalized being, then absolutely. I'm saying it to support you. No, yeah, I just didn't understand what you were referring to when you said, what was it? You started the video knowing you have the correct position in every sense. I don't mind, though. I just don't understand what that means, but I'm gonna take it to loosely mean something like I have the sort of morally desirable position universally speaking or something like that. Yes, I mean, and no less than someone who, if they were trapped back in the 1850s, was standing up for black rights and was like, protesting, and someone walked up to them and was like, you have the morally correct position here. They don't. That's okay. Yeah. Are we frozen on the horizontal? No, it looks like it unfroze.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
It unfroze.
Okay. Darts.
But it's going back and forth a lot.
I might have to change that. I'll just respond to another couple comments. Dandelion, you could also get prion diseases from eating non-human animals. Right, but Dandelion, you don't want to focus on the weaker point, which is whether or not you would or wouldn't get a disease descriptively, right? Like, presumably the most important thing philosophically is that if you weren't